My name is Ronnie Watt, 9 Dan. My job over the past 58 years has been practicing karate. My first job was an engineer, an apprentice engineer, and I was just going 16 to start my apprenticeship then because I left school to get the job. Well, it was very important for your parents that you were leaving school, you got a job and you got a good employment. And I started as an engineer. I had a really serious accident and nearly lost my leg. It took about a year to get myself back together again. An inch more and I'd have lost my leg. But anyway, a year later, after I was up and walking, I really missed sport. I went along to a local movie, and of course it was Sean Connery as James Bond, Goldfinger. And in that film there was a man called Oddjob, and Sean Connery had a fight with Oddjob, and after seeing this exciting film, I heard that the karate club was starting from the judo. So I went along. Immediately I walked through the door, I started training 3 hours, and after I was totally shattered, but I had found what I really loved. It wasn't a sport, it was more, it was a mental and physical culture based on self-defense, and it was a way that I could use myself and develop my character through hard training. And I found a way forward with this, using karate as a vehicle for perfection of character, which is a difficult thing to take on. I went to the early courses all over the world and practiced karate everywhere I could. I bought books. Approximately, I taught 20,000 people over the years. So if you take 50 years and you multiply it, it works out something like 400 people a year. Not everybody stays because I think it's 1 out of every 100 achieves black belt. I practiced for more 58 years now. We travelled all over the world with karate. I went to France and trained with famous instructors, and I went to Crystal Palace for 35 years training with Anoida, Kasi, Shirai, all the most famous karate instructors at the time. Loved training with them and developing what I could. We went to Japan and trained at the courses there, invited all the top karate masters to come to Aberdeen, and the highlight was Mr. Nakayama, the highest instructor in the world, came here in 1981, and I was the only instructor who had Sensei Nakayama as a private course. So that was very special for me. I trained with Sensei Kasi and Shirai, and then after that we moved on. I opened my own organisation. Before I trained within organisations, but later on we formed up the NKF, and our own club, the National Karate Institute, was based on the Scottish Shotokan centres from Mr. Noida School in London. And Noida was a very famous karate man. They called him the Shotokan Tiger. And I also liked very much Mr. Shirai's style of karate. He was really, really good, and he came to Aberdeen on several occasions. Sensei Kasi was very powerful and very strong, and one time he punched me in my tummy and I was black in my back. The next day, this devastating punching that Kasi could do, and I can tell you it was something very special. I was in a Scottish team 1975, we travelled the world competing, and then I moved on. I was in the KUGB National Scottish Squad. I was captain for 11 years. Unfortunately, over 30 years of fighting, I've got 13 broken noses. Yeah, same nose. Usually when I scored a point, the guy was so upset he punched me one. It's very important to keep your mind active and keep yourself going. This is why I find Karate Do very special and very helpful. All the martial arts from Japan are excellent, but Karate Do is one very special one for me. It's lasted me 58 years, and I'm still learning and still practicing with the people and progressing them on. And with the Zoom now, last year we had to cut right back our classes completely and work really hard with children and adults on Zoom. And I've been very, very lucky. I've got a wife that tolerates, a karate instructor. I've also got a wonderful son called Reeve, who's a 5th Dan black belt. Roxanne, who's a nurse, she's another karate exponent and won one of the championships in 2001. I've got my grandson Cooper, who's just passed his A-level black belt, and my grandson Grayson, 3 years old and very deadly little boy. And I'm still practicing every day now and keeping myself fit, healthy and safe. Thank you so much. Hey man, PUD, yeah!